The courtroom air hung heavy with the scent of polished wood and faded dreams as I signed the papers. My hand trembling like a leaf in a storm. Jordan sat across from me, his once vibrant blue eyes now dulled, avoiding my gaze as if I were a stranger who'd wandered into his life by mistake. In that moment, I convinced myself it was over. Our love had withered like autumn leaves in Central Park, crushed under the weight of unspoken words and growing silence. But let's rewind to how we got here. My name is Alex Rivera, a graphic designer scraping by in Brooklyn. And Jordan Hayes was the architect who built my world from the ground up. We met 5 years ago at a pride parade in Manhattan, where the rainbow flags waved like promises of forever. He was laughing with friends, his curly blonde hair catching the sun, and I bumped into him while dodging a confetti shower. "Watch where you're going, or I'll have to design a detour around you," he teased, his voice warm like summer rain. That spark ignited something fierce, and within months, we were inseparable, sharing late-night talks in our tiny apartment, dreaming of a life where love conquered all. Our wedding was a quiet affair in the Hudson Valley, surrounded by rolling hills and a handful of accepting friends. No families showed up. Mine had disowned me years ago for coming out, and Jordan's conservative parents from Texas pretended he didn't exist after he told them about us. But we didn't care. We had each other. Vows exchanged under an oak tree. Rings slipped on with tears of joy. It felt unbreakable. Yet, cracks formed slowly, like ice spreading on a frozen lake. Jordan started working longer hours at his firm, designing skyscrapers that reached for the stars while our connection plummeted to earth. Dinners grew cold on the table as I waited, my sketches for freelance gigs piling up untouched. "Babe, it's just a big project," he'd say, collapsing into bed without a kiss. I tried to bridge the gap, planning weekend getaways to the Catskills, surprising him with tickets to Broadway shows, but he canceled more often than not, citing exhaustion. The intimacy faded. Touches became rare. Conversations clipped. I felt invisible, like a ghost haunting our home. One night, after he'd fallen asleep on the couch again, I confronted him. "Do you even love me anymore?" My voice cracked in the dim living room light. He rubbed his eyes, sighing. "Alex, it's not that simple. I'm trying." But his words felt hollow, echoing the emptiness in my chest. I pushed for counseling, but he resisted, saying we could fix it ourselves. Months dragged on, and the silence screamed louder than any argument. I filed for divorce on a rainy Tuesday, convinced he'd checked out long ago. The papers served as my final plea. He fought. Maybe there was hope. He didn't. He signed without a word. And just like that, our marriage dissolved like sugar in coffee. Moving out was agony. I packed boxes in our now my apartment, each item a memory dagger. The coffee mug from our honeymoon in San Francisco, chipped from a clumsy morning. The framed photo of us at the Stonewall Inn, arms linked in defiance. I left it all for him, taking only what I needed for a sublet in Queens. Friends rallied around me. Mia, my best friend from college, dragged me to bars in Hell's Kitchen, insisting I deserved better. "He's an idiot if he let you go," she'd say over cocktails. But nights alone were torture, replaying every moment, wondering where I'd gone wrong. Work became my escape. I threw myself into designs for a queer advocacy nonprofit, creating posters that screamed empowerment while I whispered doubts to myself. One evening, sketching under the glow of my laptop, I got a text from Jordan. "Need to drop off some of your stuff. Okay if I come by?" My heart raced, part hope, part dread. He arrived looking gaunt, shadows under his eyes. We exchanged awkward pleasantries as he handed over a box of forgotten clothes and books. "Take care, Alex," he murmured, lingering at the door. I wanted to scream, to ask why, but pride sealed my lips. He left, and I collapsed, tears soaking the cardboard. As weeks turned to months, I dated sporadically, a coffee with a barista named Chris, a movie with a teacher called Liam, but nothing stuck. They weren't Jordan. Mia set me up with her coworker, a charming guy named Ethan, and we hit it off initially. Laughter over pizza in Little Italy. Shared stories of coming out. But on our third date, as he leaned in for a kiss, I pulled back. "I'm sorry. I'm not ready." Truth was, I wasn't over the man I'd vowed to love forever. Then came the turning point. Cleaning out my storage unit in Brooklyn, a relic from our married Daisy stumbled upon an old trunk Jordan had insisted I keep. Family heirlooms, he'd called it, though his family had cut ties. Curiosity piqued. I pried it open. Amid dusty photo albums and yellowed documents, a bundle of envelopes caught my eye. Sealed. Addressed to me in Jordan's neat handwriting. Postmarked but never stamped. My breath hitched. What were these? The first letter was dated a year into our marriage. "My dearest Alex, today you made me laugh until my sides hurt, telling stories of your wild college days. I never thought I'd find someone who sees the world like you do, vibrant, full of color. But lately, I've been scared. My doctor's appointment. They found something. A lump. I can't burden you with this. I love you too much to watch you worry. So I'll fight quietly. For us." My hands shook. A lump. Cancer. I tore through more. Each one chronicled his secret battle. Biopsies. Chemo sessions hidden as late nights at work. "You asked if I still love you tonight. God. Alex. More than ever. But the treatments leave me drained. And I see the hurt in your eyes. I won't drag you down. These letters are my way of staying close without the pain." Tears blurred the ink. He'd been sick, fighting alone to protect me. The distance wasn't indifference, sight was sacrifice. One letter gutted me. "Our anniversary came and went. I wanted to whisk you away, but the nausea hit hard. Instead, I watched you sleep, memorizing your face. If I don't make it, know you were my everything." He did make intromission. He'd whispered once. But I thought it was about work stress. Why hide it? The last letter, dated just before the divorce. Signing those papers broke me. "But you're free now. From a husband who's too weak to be what you need. I love you eternally." Sobbing, I clutched the bundle. All this time, I thought he'd stopped loving me. But these unsent words screamed the opposite, profound. Selfless love warped by fear. I had to find him. Rushing to our old apartment, heart pounding like thunder, I knocked frantically. No answer. Panic surged. Calling Mia. She revealed he'd moved to a small place in the Bronx after selling everything. "He's not well again. Alex. The cancer's back." My world spun. How had I missed this? I tracked him down that night, bursting into his modest studio. He looked frail, for marks faint on his arm, but his eyes lit up like the 4th of July. "Alex." "What?" "The letters." I choked out, holding them up. "Why didn't you send them? Why hide?" He sank onto the couch, head in hands. "I thought I was protecting you. My parents drilled into me that real men handle things alone. And after they rejected us, I didn't want to be a burden. I loved you too much to let you see me weak. I knelt before him, cupping his face. Love isn't about strength, Jordan. It's about sharing the load. I divorced you thinking you'd stopped caring, but you were loving me in silence. We both messed up, me for not pushing harder, you for shutting me out. Tears streamed down his cheeks. I never stopped. Every day without you was hell. In that vulnerable moment, we bridged the chasm. I moved back in, vowing to face his relapse together. Chemo rounds became our battleground. Hand in hand. Friends rallied, Ethan even visited, offering support without jealousy. Mia organized fundraisers, turning our pain into community strength. As Jordan's health improved, we renewed our vows in Central Park, under blooming cherry blossoms. No hiding this time. His parents didn't come, but mine surprised ostentative steps toward reconciliation. We're learning, my mom whispered. Those letters. We framed excerpts, reminders of love's fragility. Our story spread through queer circles, inspiring others to communicate openly. In the end, divorce wasn't the end, it was a painful detour to deeper understanding. Love, we learned, thrives not in silence, but in shared truths, and in America's vast landscape. From city streets to quiet valleys, it's the human connections that endure. The revelation hit like a freight train, derailing my fragile post-divorce life. Clutching those letters, I realized Jordan's silence wasn't apathy but a misguided shield. That night, as rain pelted my window in Queens, I reread them obsessively, each word a bomb and a blade. Morning brought resolve. I called in sick to work, then drove to Jordan's Bronx address Mia had given me. The building was nondescript, a far cry from our Brooklyn charm. Knocking, my pulse thrummed. When he opened the door, shock etched his features. Alex, how did you find the trunk? I interrupted, stepping inside uninvited. His space was sparse. A bed, a desk piled with blueprints, medical bottles lining the shelf. I found the letters, all of them. He paled, collapsing into a chair. You weren't supposed to. They were just my way of coping. Coping. My voice rose. You wrote about loving me, fighting cancer alone, and never sent them. I thought you didn't care. I left because I felt unloved, invisible. Tears welled in his eyes. I was terrified. The diagnosis came right after our wedding. Stage 2 lymphoma. I saw how it destroyed my uncle family, crumbling under the strain. I couldn't do that to you, especially with our families already against us. So I hid it, pretended it was work. But why not trust me? I demanded, pacing. We're husbands, or we're partners in everything. He reached for my hand, but I pulled back. Because I love you too much. Seeing you hurt would kill me faster than the disease. And after remission, when things got better, I thought we could move on. But the distance had already set in. Then the relapse. I let you go to spare you. Anger mixed with empathy. A turbulent storm. Spare me. You robbed us of time. I could have been there holding your hand through chemo, cooking bland meals, fighting beside you. We talked for hours, unraveling years of miscommunication. Jordan confessed his upbringing, a Texas household where emotions were buried. vulnerability seen as weakness. Coming out was hard enough. Admitting illness felt like failure. I shared my side abandonment issues from my family's rejection, making me quick to assume the worst. By evening, exhaustion settled, but so did understanding. Can we try again? He whispered. I nodded, pulling him into an embrace. But no more secrets. Promise. That marked our fragile reunion. I moved in temporarily, turning his studio into a haven. Mornings meant blending smoothies for his nausea. Afternoons accompanying him to Sloan Kettering. The hospital's sterile halls became our new normal, filled with quiet conversations about dreams deferred. One session, as poison dripped into his veins, he squeezed my hand. Remember our first date? That falafel truck in Times Square. I smiled. You spilled tahini on your shirt. I thought it was adorable. Liar. You laughed for 10 minutes. We chuckled, the sound echoing hope. But challenges mounted. Insurance battles drained our savings. I freelanced extra to cover copays. Jordan's energy waned, moods swinging from optimistic to despairing. What if I don't beat it this time? He'd ask in the dark. Then we make every moment count. I'd reply, holding him close. Our intimacy returned slowly, gentle touches. Shared baths. Rediscovering each other's bodies amid fragility. Friends became lifelines. Mia organized meal trains. Her partner Sophia bringing casseroles infused with Latin flavors. Ethan, surprisingly, checked in via text. If you need anything, I'm here. No hard feelings. His kindness highlighted the community's resilience. We ventured out when possible. A picnic in Prospect Park. Jordan's head on my lap as we watched families play. I want that someday. He murmured. Kids. Maybe adoption. Me too. But first, you get healthy. As treatment progressed, scans showed improvement. Remission loomed again. But we knew it wasn't guaranteed. We attended support groups for LGBTQ+ cancer survivors. Hearing stories that mirrored ours, partners hiding pain to protect. Relationships strained by silence. One evening, inspired, Jordan said, let's write new letters. Ones we actually send. We did, pouring hearts onto paper. Mine, Jordan. Your strength inspires me daily. I love you not despite the scars, but because of them. His, Alex. You're my anchor in the storm. Together, we're unbreakable. These exchanges deepened our bond, turning past mistakes into lessons. We even reached out to families. Jordan's parents responded curtly, praying for you. Mine visited hesitantly, me dad awkward. Mom tearful. We were wrong. She admitted. Love is love. Progress. Slow but real. Yet, tension peaked when Jordan's doctor suggested experimental therapy in California. It could buy time, she said. But it meant separation him there for months. Me staying for work. I can't leave you. I protested. You have to. For us. Echoes of old patterns. We argued fiercely. No more solo fights. I yelled. He cupped my face. This time. It's different. We'll video call. Visit. Trust me. Reluctantly, I agreed. Dropping him at JFK was heart-wrenching. His kiss lingering like a promise. Come back to me. I whispered. Alone again. I channeled energy into advocacy. designing campaigns for marriage equality, incorporating our story anonymously. Responses flooded in couples sharing similar tales, thanking us for the reminder to speak up. Weeks blurred. Jordan's updates were mixed, side effects brutal, but spirits high. Miss your terrible singing. He'd tease on calls. Then, a scare fever spiking. Hospitalization. I flew out immediately, arriving to find him pale but smiling. You came. Of course. Partners. Remember. Holding vigil by his bed. We reflected. This disease taught us what's important. He said. Not hiding, but sharing. Recovery came. Therapy working miracles. When he returned to New York, we celebrated with a rooftop party, friends toasting our resilience. Our love, forged in fire, emerged stronger. No more unsent letters, only open hearts. With Jordan back in remission, our life settled into a rhythm of gratitude and growth. We upgraded to a cozy brownstone in Harlem, filling it with plants and art symbols of renewal. Mornings started with coffee on the stoop, watching the city awaken. Hands intertwined, but shadows lingered. Regular checkups kept us vigilant. Each clean scan a victory dance. We're beating this, Jordan would say, pulling me into a twirl. Professionally, we thrived. My designs gained traction. A series on LGBTQ plus health awareness went viral. Featured in The Advocate. Jordan scaled back at his firm, focusing on sustainable architecture projects for community centers in underserved neighborhoods. Intimacy blossomed anew. Evenings meant candlelit dinners. Bodies rediscovering passion. I forgot how good this feels. He'd murmur, tracing my skin. Yet, old wounds surfaced. During a heated argument over finances, medical bills piling, UPI snapped. You hid everything before. How do I know you're not now? Hurt flashed in his eyes. I'm not that man anymore. Alex. We sought therapy. A queer-affirming counselor named Dr. Patel guiding us. Communication is key, she emphasized. Sessions unpacked traumas, my abandonment fears, his internalized stoicism. We learned tools, daily check-ins, vulnerability exercises. One homework, share a fear weekly. Mine, losing you again. His, being a burden. These confessions strengthened us, turning vulnerabilities into bonds. Socially, we expanded our circle, joining a hiking group for gay couples. We trekked the Appalachian Trail, sharing stories around campfires. One couple, Marcus and Tyler, mirrored our past, drifting apart due to unspoken stresses. Your story inspired us to talk, Marcus confided. We volunteered at Pride events, manning booths for cancer support, handing out flyers. We'd see young queer folks, eyes wide with hope. It gets better, I'd say, meaning it. Family ties mended gradually. My parents invited us for Thanksgiving in New Jersey. Awkward at first, dad fumbling compliments, mom overcompensating with pie. But by evening, laughter flowed. Proud of you both, dad grunted. A milestone. Jordan's folks remained distant, but a Christmas card arrived, thinking of you. Baby steps. Amid stability, adventure called. We road-tripped to the Grand Canyon, marveling at its vastness. Standing at the rim, Jordan proposed again. Marry me properly, this Tim Eno secrets. Tears streaming. I said yes. Our second wedding was vibrant. Central Park gazebo. Rainbow decor. Diverse guests. Vows renewed. I promise to share every joy, every fear. Honeymoon in Hawaii beaches. Luau's. Stolen moments. This is our second chance. Jordan whispered under stars. Back home, we discussed family. Adoption agencies vetted us. We chose surrogacy with a friend. Lena. Excitement built as she carried our son. Elijah. But fate twisted. Midway through pregnancy, Jordan's scans showed spots. Relapse. Aggressive. Devastation hit. Not now. He pleaded. We rallied. Aggressive treatment. Alternative therapies. I took leave, caring for him as Lena's belly grew. Nights were raw. If I don't make it, he'd start. Stop. You will. Community enveloped us. GoFundMe campaigns. Prayer circles from unexpected allies including Jordan's estranged brother. As Elijah arrived, Jordan held him first. Frail but fierce. My little fighter. He cooed. The baby brought light. Sleepless nights turned tender. Us tag-teaming diapers and feeds. Jordan's fight intensified. Experimental drugs in Boston meant travel. I juggled parenthood and support. One crisis, infection post-chemo. ICU stay. Holding Elijah, I whispered prayers at his bedside. Come back to us. He did, emerging determined. For my family. Remission returned. Tentative but triumphant. We celebrated Elijah's first birthday with a park picnic. Friends cheering. Our story evolved into advocacy. We spoke at conferences. Co-authored a book, Unsent Letters, Navigating Love and Illness in the LGBTQ+ community. Royalties funded scholarships for queer youth. Years passed. Elijah grew into a spirited toddler. Our home echoing with giggles. Challenges came tantrums. Work stress, but we faced them openly. One anniversary. We revisited the letters. They saved us. Jordan said. By showing what not to do. I agreed. In reflection. Our journey taught profound lessons. Love demands courage. Communication heals divides. And humanity shines in vulnerability. In America's melting pot, where differences clash and connect, our bond proved resilience's power. No more thinking love stopped. We knew it never did. Elijah's laughter became our soundtrack, a reminder of life's persistence. As he toddled through our Harlem home, grabbing at Jordan's blueprints or my sketchpads, we marveled at the family we'd built from ashes. Jordan's health stabilized. Checkups routine. Clear again. The doctor announced. Sparking impromptu dances in the waiting room. We embraced normalcy. Preschool drop-offs. Weekend brunches in Greenwich Village. Friends envied our rhythmia joking. You two are disgustingly happy. But happiness was earned. We maintained therapy, ensuring old habits stayed buried. Professionally, our book tour took us coast to coast. In San Francisco, a young man approached. Your story gave me courage to tell my partner about my depression. Moments like these affirmed the human value sharing pain fosters connection. At home, Elijah's questions began. Why two daddies? We'd explain simply, love makes families. Challenges persisted. Jordan's energy dipped occasionally. Remnants of treatments. I'd urge rest. He'd insist on park outings. Can't miss his firsts. One scare, fatigue led to tests. But benign. Relief washed over us like ocean waves. We expanded advocacy, founding a nonprofit, Letters of Love, encouraging queer couples to write and share emotions. Workshops filled, participants leaving empowered. Family integrations deepened. My parents babysat Elijah, bonds forming. Jordan's mom visited once, tentative but warm. "He's beautiful," she said, holding her grandson. As Elijah turned 5, we adopted a daughter, Sophia, from foster care. Her arrival doubled chaos and joy sibling squabbles. Bedtime stories. Amid growth, reflection hit. On our 10th anniversary, counting from reunion, we escaped to the Hamptons. Beach walks, waves crashing. "Remember the letters?" Jordan asked. "How could I forget? They were your unspoken heart." He pulled out a new bundle sent this time, via mail during trips. "Now, we write the future." Our love, once fractured, now unbreakable. Kisses lingered, touches spoke volumes. In quieter moments, we'd discuss legacies, teach them openness, I'd say, and resilience, he'd add. Our story rippled outward. Media features. TED Talk spreading messages of empathy in a divided world. One evening, as kids slept, Jordan held me. "Divorcing was the worst, but it led here. To understanding." I whispered. "Indeed. From misunderstanding to profound connection. Our path illuminated love's true essence. Not perfection, but persistent, honest effort. In America's diverse tapestry, our family stood as testament love prevails when voices rise above silence. And those letters, eternal reminders that words, sent or not, hold power to heal,